Hi everyone, my name is Irene. Welcome back to my video. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe because I'm dedicated to create more videos. Today I am going to share with you 5 common food. Well, not really, one of them is not food, but it's something that we take in, that these 5 common food affects our spiritual awakening journey because it affects our body and our mind as well. So before I deep dive into it, show reel. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Irene. I am the owner of Socorro Secrets. I'm also a law of attraction coach, and I'm also a 4th degree black belt on the Mukwondo style. So today I'm going to share with you what I have learned because I'm going through my spiritual journey, and in fact next week I have a 30-day spiritual journey with Master Sri Akarshana. And so today, before anything else, I'd like to share with you these 5 common food that will affect you if you're going through some stuff that I'm going through, which is their spiritual awakening journey. And so the first one is, I think everybody already know this because it affects our mind, is alcohol. And so maybe half a glass of wine, or a glass of wine, or maybe a bottle of beer, or whatever, you know, it actually affects how we think and how we see things, you know. So that's why most people, when they get a buzz on, you know, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, if you are already at the age of you can drink and you have actually experienced drinking, and even just like maybe a bottle of beer or whatever, or half a glass of wine or a glass of wine, when you actually take it on after, especially if you have empty stomach, the effect of the alcohol in our mind, you'll know, because sometimes it's like if you are looking around and if you have a buzz on, it looks like everything is like either slow-mo, you know, in your mind you're thinking slow, you know, maybe if you have too much, you're slurring when you speak. And these are the things that affects a person who's trying to raise their consciousness, or, you know, going through a spiritual awakening journey. And that's why it is recommended not to get indulged or take any alcohol when you're going through that spiritual awakening journey. So number 2 is and I know a lot of people already actually gonna start crying about it, you know, is caffeine. Now, caffeine is not only found on coffee or tea, because caffeine can also be found on chocolate, you know, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, you know, it's all in there, and also some beverage, you know. So it's not just like maybe Mountain Dew has a high content of caffeine. So anything that has caffeine, because you know caffeine, when you drink coffee, what does it do? It boosts your energy, right? It's always like you're uppity, and but the thing is, it actually raises your consciousness when you are on coffee or tea or anything that's caffeine. Any energy boosting drink has a lot of caffeine, and you know why? Because it actually, you know, it kind of makes you uppity, right? That's what coffee does. It wakes you up. It makes you, oh, you're so aware about everything. But the thing about coffee, or caffeine, I should say, in the spiritual journey, it helps, but the thing is, they are addictive. And so once you are going through and then you're raising your consciousness because of caffeine, it doesn't really it's not good, because once you are not in coffee or tea, then what happens is that it kind of affects how you feel. It's like you're not in the it's I know exactly, you're like all of a sudden you're down, you don't have energy or anything like that, you know. And so also when you're drinking coffee or anything that's high in caffeine, you tend to, like, coffee makes you shake, right? So if you have way too much caffeine, your nervous system is affected, and so which is not really good when you're going through a spiritual journey. So number 3, and this is something that it's added into most of the water system wherever you live at. And I know here in the US a lot of water, common like city water and all that stuff that goes through the faucet, a lot of additives are being added, and one of the things is fluoride, and just to keep the bacteria away from the water or whatever. But fluoride, the reason why fluoride is not good for you is because it calcifies your pineal gland. And you know, in the spiritual awakening journey, pineal gland is your portal, it's your gate towards your third eye. And so if your pineal gland is calcified, it dims the part of the brain, it dims that you're being able to meditate and also look in through your third eye. So that is the reason why. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention that when you're in alcohol, it affects how you meditate. Because you know, when you are going through spiritual journey, what we do is a lot of the meditation, right? And if you are in the influence of alcohol or maybe caffeine, it affects how you actually tries to it affects how you meditate. You're not gonna get deeper into meditation, and you know, when you get deeper into meditation, you are, you know, it kind of weakens your clarity and your focus when you do your meditation. Number 4 is garlic. Now, why is garlic so not recommended? So what's recommended is to avoid garlic. And you know, most of the food now that we can get from the restaurant or anything like that, especially on the Filipino food, it's hard to find a food that doesn't have any garlic. But there are. But garlic is a very powerful spice. In fact, garlic is used, like here you probably heard, it's used to deter or fend off vampires. And the funny thing is that in the Philippines, it's the same way. Back in the old days, my grandma used to tell me how we should put some garlic by the windows because it deters bad spirits. And you know, like there is a counterpart of a vampire version in the Philippines that is also almost the same kind of characteristics, kind of, you know, people, or not really people because there are not humans, and there are, I don't know what they are, but anyway, so that's why garlic affects spirituality. It affects not the spirituality, it affects their spirit because it deters bad spirits, right? And garlic is also known to increase aggressiveness on some people, so yeah, or assertiveness. And the last one that I wanted to mention is onion. Now, onion is another one that is so strong, so powerful. In fact, you know, if you are a cook, you probably notice that when you peel an onion, what happens is like you start to tear up because that scent, that there's a vapor in there that makes your tear gland swell and then or fire up. So now it starts tearing up. And so also, you know, onion is actually used in the Philippines. It's known to increase sexual desires. You know, I remembered when I was in the Philippines, a family member just got married, and after a couple of years, they still didn't have, the wife hasn't bear a child. And so what was recommended is to feed or make the husband eat a lot of food that contains a lot of onions, whether raw onions or slightly cooked onions is being recommended for then. And because it increases the reproductive system on the male side. And so so yeah, so it is a very powerful, and it's not good if you are actually practicing spiritual awareness or spiritual awakening. So those are the 5 common food that I would recommend to avoid if you're going through spiritual awakening. And so I hope you like this video and you've learned something from it. If you do, please hit that like button. And also, if you learned something, comment below and let me know what else you know about this spiritual awakening, things that you cannot do, you cannot eat, or while you're going through this journey. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button, because I'm dedicated to create more videos where I can share my knowledge, my experiences, and I would like to actually inspire you as well. So until my next video, see you guys later.